Hello and welcome to another installment of the Zionsville Football Fantasy Football League Fantasy Football Podcast. This week brought to you by Sleeper. Sleeper, the only fantasy football app being for fans, by fans. This is the show where we take a look into the details and goings on in the league because we all know our commissioner won't. I'm here with my co-host as usual, Mr. RJ Wagner. RJ, how are you doing?
Ted, last week I got the win, but at what cost?
Ooh.
I held on to this man, drafted 1-1. I remember vividly shooting that ping pong ball into the cup, jumping into the pool, drinking the beer. Let's look at the bottom. 1! I saw fireworks. My mind went blank. I'm just like, oh my God, remember the Bink last year, the dominance that the man had. I was so happy. Had him for 3 games, didn't even score a touchdown. I mean, I'm just sad. He was looking great too, the game. Tough way for him to go out. But where I am right now, it's sort of where I was at the beginning of the year. I lost 2 straight beginning of the year, a bunch of injuries, and then I went on a 6-game win streak. So, same thing. I'll get creative with my roster. I'll do what I can to get the best out of all my players. 6-game win streak I had after losing Christian McCaffrey week 1 and 2. Just got to get that started again going into the playoffs.
I think Chase has really proven that it does not matter how you draft. It's how you play, because we play fantasy football. You don't just set it and forget it. Mm-hmm. We live this. You breathe this.
Mm-hmm.
But as this is our first live episode, we don't really have a guest. You, the viewer, is the guest. So I'm thinking
we're
up to 40 viewers now.
40, yeah.
Feel free to comment. We will comments on every matchup. We'll be highlighting anything that isn't too rambunctious. I see the real Scott Fuller in our chat is getting a little.
Guys. Oh, what was the
real Scott Fuller is getting a little rambunctious, coming attacking us. I think maybe he's upset he's not in our league a little bit. But we're glad to have all these viewers.
Wow, Scott! I'm just now reading all that Scott Fuller has had to say.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even read the Kevin OB 155 asks. That makes me want to die. I forget what I said. Do you think Trevor is still searching for a wide receiver too? That's a great question. Kevin OB 155. Wide receiver 2. Yeah, Garrett Wilson, not good. Juwan Jennings, not good. Jaden Reed, fine. But
here's something. I think Trevor should be looking for a wide receiver 1.
Whoa!
Justin Jefferson. Whew.
You don't think
he's been stinky and not like Binky recently?
He's literally the 3rd best receiver.
Yeah, but have you seen lately? He had 7, 11, 4, 13. That's not the Justin Jefferson I know.
He's only seen the end zone 5 times this year and hasn't seen the end zone since week 7. Mm-hmm. Maybe you're right.
But before we get into the question and answer portion of this, why don't we go through this? This is still the ZFFFL FF Pod that you all know and love. So why don't we just get into last week? I'm going to talk my favorite matchup of the week. I beat Kevin 139-97. Talk about that Baker revenge game. He said, "Why don't you want me?" And then he got 12 points. Josh Allen with 32 on the bench. He had 2 touchdowns on 1 play. Kevin said, "I don't want it." And speaking of not wanting it, Pacheco with 5, Amon-Ra with 10, Kittle with 1.2. Yikes. Saquon and Rico Dowdle did fine, but just didn't even get 100. Tough for Kev. after going on seemingly a hot streak. And then for my team, no one went nuclear, but besides Justin Tucker with 9, everyone else in double digits. I'm loving Jared Goff. I like that. I think it was a great team win. Talking about no one going crazy, but everyone just contributing, keeping their heads down. RJ, what'd you think about watching Kevin lose?
Yeah, Ted, absolute beatdown on your part. 140. With honestly what I would consider Derrick Henry and Alvin Kamara's floor, even with how much work they get. And I wouldn't even consider 19 from Josh Jacobs nuclearness, when he's already averaging 16 this whole season. The fact you've stuck with Justin Tucker this long is crazy to me with how many kicks he misses. That has to be frustrating.
He still got 9.
What? Still got 9. Yeah, exactly. Terry McLaurin looks good. But I really think that you should have had Baker Mayfield at quarterback because then you would have scored 130, that's a lot of points. That's still above league average.
Mm-hmm.
Kev squad, I think Amon-Ra broke his streak for touchdowns at home. I'm pretty sure there was some thing going on with him scoring touchdowns at home because he didn't score one. Kittle, I thought, was pretty weather-driven. Pacheco was still eased into the offense. I don't really think there's too much concern here, but it is something to keep an eye on, the Pacheco workload. Ted, did you know that the past 5 weeks that you've had different top scorers on your team? Week 9, Derrick Henry, 10, Chuba Hubbard, 11, Goff, Josh Jacobs last week, and this week, Terry McLaurin.
That's a good fact. That's analysis. Wow, you must have checked every single.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of detail I go into this. But yeah, you have a lot of possibility for nuclearness on your team. It really looks like your team's coming together at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm arguing that you're not in that sort of it's fucking Teddy, how does he keep winning type of mentality. You aren't someone to mess with.
Wow, that means a lot, but I think you might just be buttering me up. Getting that reverse jinx started early.
Maybe.
And speaking of the reverse jinx, someone who wishes he had a couple reverse jinxes back, Monty lost to Trevor. Trevor beat him 135-112. Honestly, not a terrible showing by the Binks. Hurts with 19, DJ Moore with 20, Njoku with 21, Chris Boswell with 16. Chris Boswell was 16, but like a lot of letdowns. Breece Hall, Gus Edwards combining for 10. That was rough for the Bink. And then Trevor, just his team is really looking good. Chase Brown, I think, has been a great pickup for him, but just Lamar, Achane, Broncos D. Trevor was looking pretty good. He's in good form. What do you think about that one?
Before I get started on this, I just want to remind everyone that for all league members possibly listening, the StreamYard link has been added to the group chat. You can join in, pop in if you have anything to say. Hop right into the live podcast so we can get some more interactions going on.
We'd love to hear.
I got a feeling that this will be one of the longest podcasts of the year and maybe ever. All right, back to the matchup. Yeah, Trevor lowered the casket and filled the grave. Trev, I thought your eulogy that you spoke was profound and beautiful at the Bink funeral, but he is now dead and gone and getting ready for week 17. Is that 17? Is that the last game? Yes. So yeah, it's sad, seeing is it wrong to say demise of what was so high last year to what has now become. It really makes me sad. It's like when Shaq went to the Celtics, the prime, it was just sad at that point.
Like Dan Marino on the Chiefs.
Yeah, it hurt you watching him walk.
Yeah.
But anyways, He did get good performances from all of my draft picks, David Njoku, Chris Paul, and DJ Moore. Besides that, I'd say mediocre from Jalen Hurts, but absolute shit from the rest. Trev, on the other hand, back to looking like an absolute powerhouse. Just look at the lineup. There's so much nuclearness. But he did all this with nothing like 40-point performances, nothing insane. It's all like, yeah, I could see them scoring that again. And even some bad performances and still got 135. Like, that's what stands out to me in my head. Like, maybe expect 8 to 10 from the defense. Maybe that was a little too much. What, he got 20, I think, from his defense?
Yeah.
Maybe you can't expect that much. But there's no way Trevor's team, looking from top to bottom in my head, shouldn't be scoring 123 or above every single week. Like, the running back volume's insane. I think Justin Jefferson's fine. He's still producing without even being in the end zone for that much. I think 13 should be his lowest that he gets in a week. But, I mean, last week, he got 3. So what do I mean? Trey McBride, crazy good. Still hasn't gotten in the end zone, though. Lamar. Now, the one problem I have with this team is depth. I know we're late in the season. Depth isn't too much something you need, but maybe an injury next week when he's on his bye could really put him out from, say, Chase Brown, Achane, something. That would really hurt his squad, especially since he lost J.K. Dobbins and someone else, like in a matter of 20 minutes. They both went on the IR. But, yeah, I feel like Trev's got to be one of the favorites going into the playoffs. I really think so.
Yeah, his team is nothing to be sniffed at. And he's been looking good all year besides the draft.
Honestly, guys, I think Scott Fuller is full of BS. I love the statistics. That guy's whack.
ZFFFL FF Pod fan coming in.
Appreciate you being a fan. Appreciate it. Don't forget to comment where you're living and your social security number.
Zip code would be nice.
Yep. But I tend to agree. I'm a big fan of the stats. I know I'm getting off the rails a little bit, but who knows how long our viewers are going to be on here, because right now it's just me and the real Scott Fuller. But yeah, no, I know ZFFFL FF Pod fans not even on anymore, but I'm a fan of the stats. So yes.
Yeah, we'll have a stat segment to go over the big stat man's storylines. He's making up for the late pod. But moving on to the next matchup, speaking of the stat man, Kyle beat Jack 153 to 132. Just Jack thought he had some hope. Jack honestly I thought he had a great week. Mike Evans 22, Bijan 22, JT 17. But Kyle his team is scary. Jaden Daniels 33, James Cook 18.5, Brock Bowers, I'm afraid of him with 25. Jamar, a down week really, but he still had 17. Kyle's team looking insane, scoring 153. This was just a beatdown. Kyle looking great. RJ, what do you have to say?
It sucks for Jack that he had to face Kyle this week, because if he won, there wouldn't have been a fuck or walk game going this week. Yeah, he would have clinched a playoff spot. So this week it was two powerhouses in this matchup. Oh,
ZFFFL FF Pod fan still here. Don't worry.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thanks for staying.
Yeah, only two people to really look down on for Jack. Cooper Kupp, Kyler Murray. Definitely should have had Baker, because then Jack would have scored 125 instead of 132.
Yep, would have helped have Baker there.
Definitely would have helped. Taysom Hill getting decapitated. Sad to see. Prayers up to him. Jack will have to make a change at tight end. Other than that big game next week for him, winning in, that's his focus right now. That's all that he, so what? He didn't get the win, didn't clinch. That's what he's on to now, is focus on that. Kyle's team, 4-game win streak, fucking powerhouse. I love every part of this lineup. Love the bench. So much damn star power. Gibbs only getting 9. That's the downside, but that he always gets more than that. I think he had a fumble, which is probably why. Me personally, I'm saying this right now, he is my favorite to win the championship. He is above Trevor, which I think everyone's on Trevor, but I'm on Kyle to be my favorite.
I think clear and away.
To get his third championship, or is this his fourth? No, this would be his third, right? Because
you have 3, Trevor has 3, I have 3.
I have 2, I think.
You have 2? I thought you might have had a middle school one, but those are kind of asterisk.
No, I don't. Nope.
You didn't?
Nope. 2 in college, I believe.
I'll have to call the official league historian.
Mm-hmm. But crazy thing from Kyle, 67% of his points came from the draft. He sustained the same guys that he had. He rode with them all year long, and they are producing now. I thought that was awesome to see.
Yeah, I thought Kyle really did a great job, and it was what we were talking about all year long, about how Kyle's team seemed so good, but they weren't winning. Kyle, I feel like he's won like 5 out of the last 6. I don't think he's been
4 straight. I know. I don't know.
He was there battling the last place game, but he took himself out of that. He's really won. And then speaking of not being able to battle out of the last place game, RJ, you just kept that pillow over Chase's head, just not letting him get up. You beat him 120 to 111. It wasn't pretty for either of you, but it was just a little bit prettier for you, scoring 120. You kept Mahomes in at quarterback. I thought that was a little crazy, but really didn't matter. Joe Mixon doing well for you, and I think a potential. I think we should have some end of the year awards. I think best pickup is you picking up Jonnu Smith. Just Kevin discarded him for some reason, even though he was on a tear, and he has continued that tear.
Mm-hmm.
And then Chase, on the other hand, Justin Herbert with 8 points. Not really going to do any favors. CeeDee Lamb, big question mark, only got 5. When is Chase going to say Cooper Rush just ain't it for him? But other than that, really nothing terrible from Chase. I guess the bright spot, Bucky Irving, he might have found his answer to the Rashad White Bucky Irving debate, but got to be tough for Chase to have that hope and then it just be crushed. How'd you feel about beating Chase there?
Yeah, I got a lucky win because I didn't score above the 4 guys. But it really, like I mentioned earlier on, it didn't feel like a lucky win with losing CMC. This one was actually closer than what I realized. I fell asleep before the game even ended, and I didn't realize that it was within 10. Kenneth Walker struggled, really needed a touchdown, got vultured from Charbonnet, and got stuffed at the 1 twice, which hurt. All my pass catchers did well. Like you mentioned, I had Mahomes at quarterback, filling in for Burrow for a second week in a row. I just want to give him some extra Burrow. I want to give him some extra rest and Mahomes some extra reps because, he's been on and off teams. I just want to get him comfortable if anything were to happen to get him ready for the playoffs, and that's why I'm having Burrow back this week, last game before the playoffs, just because I want just rev him back up a little bit. I'm okay if he has an iffy week, expecting that after 2 weeks off, but I want him fully healthy. Mm-hmm. This is just, get back in the motion of things. So he's all good. No nuclearness, but that being said, sort of similar to what I said about Trevor's team, He even had some bad outings and got 135. I'm still happy with no nuclearness and 120. I think that's still pretty respectable. CD's injury, I don't know if you saw it. He did have an injury and was out for the he didn't come back in. That killed Chase, along with Aaron Jones losing touches after his fumble. Justin Herbert not throwing a touchdown and getting sub-8 or sub-9, whatever. He definitely had opportunities to get the win. But Bucky, Jacoby, Kyron, tight end 1, Mark Andrews. Chase, he could have snuck this one out if Herbert and Aaron Jones just did fine. But either way, this game didn't even matter for him because Jack lost. It didn't matter if he won or lost. It's all down to this next week. Also, Chase's point total, 72% from picked up guys. I don't know if that was group chat, but yeah, that's crazy.
I saw that's absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm.
But do you know if that takes into account people you pick up and drop on the same? I don't know.
I do not know. That is a great question. We should ask the status or the commissioner because he should know that.
Yeah, the commissioner should really know.
He should.
I'm sure he does. What a great commissioner he is. Speaking of which, go Carnes Beavers, really taking down the Gibbs. Whoever. Oh, but that's it for our Week 13 recap.
I do have some fun facts.
Are they fun?
I think so, but I don't know if you'll think they're fun. Might want to get your notepad.
If I could do a poll, I'd say, should we have fun facts?
Yeah, for all of our viewers.
But I say go ahead. Let me just get the target share, rush share counter going. Everyone play along at home.
And put oh, yes. He said yes to fun facts.
Oh, it's ZFFFL fan saying yes.
You don't have to twist my arm. Don't have to twist my arm. All right.
Let's hear about Chase Brown's rush share.
Nope, that's not where we're starting. We're starting with me and Kyle. David Montgomery handled 70% of the running back rushes on Thanksgiving, season high. Also might just be because of the fumble. And then I don't know if you saw Jahmyr Gibbs posted their plays on TikTok.
Yeah.
That might be something to look at going forward. 3 games with Shane Waldron as OC for the Bears. In those 3 games, 30 targets for DJ Moore, 31 for Keenan Allen, 26 for Roma Dunze. Really honing in on that wide receiver room, meaning less, targets for the running backs, Cole Kmet, stuff like that. Something to look out for. Rico Dowdle, rush share of 86 and 84 each of the last 2 weeks, both season highs for him. Last week, we saw Tyrone Tracy have a 41% snap share, more usage from Devin Singletary, back to 73 this week. He also ran 27 routes compared to Devin Singletary's 5, so Tyrone Tracy is back. Malik Neighbors hasn't scored a touchdown since week 3. Crazy. Achane has ranked outside of the top 10 in running backs just once in the 8 games started by Tua. Also, since Tua's return, 41 targets for Tyreek Hill, 46 for Jonnu Smith.
Crazy.
More for Jonnu Smith. That's wild. Jaden Reed actually had a target share of 21.4 last week, his highest since week 5. We've talked about it before. He doesn't really get that much of a target share. Jordan Love likes to pass it around, so it's good to see him get his target share up. Kareem Hunt actually played 1 more snap than Isaiah Pacheco, and they each ran the ball 7 times, so it was pretty much a split backfield there. Drake London for Kevin had a season-high 42% target share last week. Ladd McConkey last week, 50% target share.
Wait, is he still alive?
Ladd McConkey, did he get hurt?
I thought he got hurt.
Oh, I don't know. T. Higgins is averaging a 31% target share for the whole year. career high for him. Joe Mixon back-to-back games with 100% running back share. He is owning the running back. Trey McBride has now seen 92 targets this whole year and has not caught a single touchdown. And I have three more. Terry McLaurin had a 26% target share, his highest since week 5. Jaden Daniels, we talked about him not running the ball as much as of late, maybe due to that rib injury. Weeks 10 and 11, 23 rushing yards. Last 2 weeks, 108. So running equals potential fantasy league winner at quarterback. Love it when he runs the ball. Very good for Kyle. And lastly, Cooper Kupp only scored 4 points, but he did still see a 26% target share. No need to panic, Jack. But this week, you need him.
Definitely need him. I actually stopped counting. I forgot halfway through.
Yeah.
But if anyone at home was keeping track, we'd love to hear it in the chat. Oh, we're up to 300 viewers, I think. Are we on Amazon's main page for the Thursday night countdown?
I think so. We're right with they're doing a Manning cast.
Oh, hold on. We got a viewer saying that Ladd is fine, not dead. He's only questionable this week.
Thank you, K Whitlock 04. That's good to hear. I didn't even know Kyle drafted Ladd McConkey. He did, didn't he? Or am I making that up?
He might have, because you know who loves those rookies? Kyle.
Kyle, he does.
He's got the inside scoop.
But that's a hell of a draft pick there.
Him and Brock Bowers. I think
Brock Bowers. Hell of a draft pick. God.
I add to another, I think, like, best steal of the draft, I think should be another one we vote on.
I like it.
I'd say Brock Bowers is up there because I don't know when he took him, but it must have been like the 9th or 10th.
And the fact that the first tight end was drafted in the 3rd, I believe, Sam Laporta.
Yeah. How's Sam Laporta doing? He's actually not doing too bad of late.
I need to get another cold.
But speaking of that, while you're doing that, since we were letting down the podcast being late and everything, just wanted to bring up the Statman's 3 storylines that I thought were interesting. First of all, Trevor needs 140 points to set the all-time regular season scoring record. RJ, do you think he does it?
Do I think he does it?
Yeah.
Let me look at his lineup right now. Do I believe there's a possibility? Of course, it's Trevor's team, and I just said he should never score below 123.
He's got to get to 140.
He scored 135 last week.
He's got Lamar out. He put Tua in for him.
Lamar has a bye, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay, it's loading now. Jaden Reed, I like it. Garrett Wilson, I don't. Not much he can do. 140.
Yeah.
No. What do you think? I wanted to say yes. I just can't see Garrett Wilson getting more than 5 or 6 points. If he gets in the end zone, if Garrett Wilson scores a touchdown, he scores 140 points.
So you're saying if Garrett Wilson doesn't get a touchdown, Trevor scores 133.
Yes, exactly.
He does get the catch.
Exactly.
Down. He's got it. So Trevor will miss it by
on Garrett Wilson's shoulders.
And the second fun fact, I think this one's a little bit more far-fetched. As a league, we need to score 980 points to beat the all-time regular scoring, which would be 122.5 points per game for every single person averaging. Do you think we can reach that?
Yes.
Really? I don't think we can.
Yes, I think we will do that. We will collectively do that.
Wow. I mean, Trevor scoring 133 helps a little bit. Monty might score 80. We'll need to get people.
We'll get three or four people. This will be a big week. I feel it. I feel it in my nads. It's going to be a huge week. We're going to see some big time scores, and we're going to do this, and we're going to celebrate at the end of the year party. We're going to all take a shot just for that.
Just for that. All right.
For that.
And then we need to keep going because we're kind of running out of time on those ASIC sports books. I know people are going to be doing those live bets, but just real quick
the lines have been tweeted out.
Oh, have they?
People are more than welcome. Yeah, go to the ZFFL. If you guys are looking to place a bet quick, and there is something to look out for, maybe a possible special. If you're looking to place a bet with the ASIC Sportsbook, go to the ZFFFL FF Podcast.
ZFFL FF Podcast Twitter.
Yeah, at ZFFFL FF Podcast Twitter. Look at the lines. Place your bets. Right now, the book has nothing. So, really speaking to one person specifically,
who is at a Carnes High School wrestling meet. But speaking of, we were speaking about next week. Before we get into the analysis, let's talk about this battle for the 3 seed. RJ, you clinched the 3 seed with a win.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle clinches a 3 seed with a win and Kevin loss, or Kyle wins and Kevin wins but doesn't outscore Kevin by 8.5.
Kevin needs to outscore him.
So Kevin will clinch if he wins and Kyle wins, and he has to outscore Kyle by 8 points. Now, this is something. Do you want to play? Do you even want the 3 seed?
I'll put it out there for everyone. If I had to give my perfect bracket, I'm on the side with you and Chase beats Jack.
I think you're right, but
that's what I want. But where would the 3 seed put me? You'd have to lose this week. So, I mean, I'm going to try to win because I don't know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But that would be my goal would be for Chase to beat Jack and to play Chase and then play you. That would be if I could draw it up.
And I think especially you got to think about is getting that home divisional game. You'll have it no matter what, but in case things shake up where like the 1 seed loses, getting that home field advantage
That's true. That's true, because we know the crowd over here at ASCTN season, even though ETN's not even on my team anymore, the crowd gets rowdy, especially in the playoffs. So that the home field advantage would be huge. But yeah, this week, don't want to get too far into it, but it's definitely a tough week playing Kyle. Scariest matchup in my opinion. And yeah, I would love it if Trevor and Kyle and Kevin all in the other side of the bracket.
And speaking of, I think
you, and no offense to Chase, I texted Chase straight up and told him that I hope he beats Jack because I would love to play him in the playoffs.
That's some fight talk. I think we should have home field advantage for the playoffs where
10-point lead.
I think like maybe like a 2-point lead, I think would be crazy. Like just something small like that, but might make a difference.
I actually like that. You should have some sort of advantage. Give some sort of advantage to the higher seeds.
Yeah, because right now it's like, who cares if you get the 3 seed or the 4 seed?
Yeah.
In reality.
I could add something. I like that.
We'll see if we can do it on Sleeper next year.
Mm-hmm.
But, we don't need to take a commercial break. We would put one right here.
You know me. I know what I'm doing. I can win it all back. My luck is changing. I'm going to strike the big one. Imagine what we can do. One more try. I promise I will give it all back.
You might have seen a commercial just now if you're watching the post live show. But I'm sure with 125 viewers, I'm sure anyone who's going to watch is watching live. But we're going to get into the Week 14 preview. If Asics might have a few words to say.
Yeah, and as we begin the preview of Week 14, right? 14 of the 2024 ZFFFL, I must remind you of a great sponsorship over at our ZFFFL Asics Sportsbook, Asics Footwear. It's do or die for the playoffs. Loud and Stroud season is on the line. Bed Bath and Bijan clinging to hope. And Sir Banks-a-Lot already 6 feet under. Fantasy dreams buried deep. Enter the Asics Meta Speed Edge. Built for the clutch moments. Speed, power, precision. Everything they need to run down victory or dig their own grave trying. Because when the stakes are this high, second place isn't an option. Lace up, push harder, win or die trying. Asics Meta Speed Edge. Make your move or get left behind. Asics, a sound mind is a sound body.
Wow, Asics really.
It realizes how big this week is. I don't want to get too far into the specific match until we get there, but it's huge.
We're gonna ease into it. This is pulling it up right now. This is the Coors Light Take It Easy matchup. This is me versus Trevor. Neither team needs to win. I think we've got a lot of people on bye. All the Ravens. So Lamar's out. Derrick Henry's out. That'll give me a chance to, put some guys in, get some experience for the playoffs. For Trevor, he's got that Achane Tua stack, which could be crazy. But I think Trevor really needs to develop those wide receivers, get healthy for the playoffs. I'm thinking Josh Jacobs is a bit roughed up. And this will definitely be a tough test for Jared Goff against the Packers in 15 minutes to be the starter. But how's Asics?
I see that there was a comment.
It's a comment by ZFFFL FF Pod fan. It says cheer 100.
Cheerio, I think.
No, I think they were trying to donate.
Oh, it says, they also, it didn't work. Just try to donate. Can you guys Venmo me $1.40 to make? Oh, shoot. Drop your Venmo below. Maybe the sports book could help with that.
Maybe this, yeah, if you put like $100 on this matchup, which I've got the line here if you don't.
Yeah, Ted, this game, it's going to come down to the Monday night kicker v. kicker plus Chase Brown for Trev. Mm-hmm. 2 top dogs, winner gets the 1 seed, and 11 wins, which I think is the most wins we've seen in our league.
Yep.
We've had a couple 11 win people in the past, but I think that's the most. I don't think we've ever seen a 12, have we? Do you know?
According to what Kyle posted, I forget where, but I think Chase had the most. He had 11 one year.
So you're playing for something. Pride, being to be able to say you are the top dog of the year. Terry McLaurin, Derrick Henry on a bye for you. Trev down Lamar. This is an interesting one. And Ted, I've been hearing some news from the public that they're thinking the line should be Trevor minus 7.5. Book thinks it's much closer than that. Trev minus 3.5. Who's our guest picker this week? Are you going to be picking them?
No, the guest picker is the Twitch chat. So if anyone is in the Twitch chat, do you think
Trevor minus 3.5 Twitch chat? Go ahead and put your picks below. We can't do a poll, can we?
We can't do a poll, but we can, we can just say what there's so much popping up right now.
Yeah, I
But
got to scroll through all these comments.
as long as there's a clear winner, the
Trevor
Twitch
minus 3.5, easy money. Trevor minus 3. Trevor minus 100. Jesus, Ted, they're getting shit on in the comments. Trevor has a large. Oh God, that's not. That has nothing to do with the matchup. Jesus. Whoa. Trevor,
Whoa!
10,000. Trevor minus 3.5 lock.
That's a two lock. That's a mortal lock.
Mortal lock. People are calling that a discount double bank, maybe.
Ooh, it's looking bad. You know, I'll take it. This is a week that doesn't matter. I think I've shown I can be the underdog. I'm fine with that.
What's your record this year? 10 wins and
10-3
and 3 losses, and people are disrespecting you like that.
Exactly.
Dang.
Exactly. Now moving on to our next matchup. This is the Hasbro Games Strategy Sultan matchup to see who can strategize the most. Kyle versus RJ. Do you really even want the win? Do you want to put yourself in position for the playoffs? If you think Trevor is going to lose, do you want to be on that side of the bracket? Do you think he's going to win? Depends. Both team considering who they want to play. Kyle's got a lot of buys, but he's still got James Cook, Gibbs, Jamar Chase out there. He's also got Sam Darnold as quarterback, which has been rough. RJ, you've got Joe Burrow back in the lineup, but also you've got Isaac Guerendo in your lineup. So you're having some injury troubles. You definitely need some help. David Montgomery versus Jahmyr Gibbs. I think that'll be electrifying to watch.
Mm-hmm.
RJ, how are you feeling about this one?
Pretty much for the third place spot here, unless Kevin and Kyle win and the points, whatever. Right now, good matchup for Joe Burrow facing a bottom 5 defense in Dallas on Monday night. Tough matchups for Puka and Jonnu facing top 5 defenses against their position. Kyle, great matchups for Darnold, Cook, Bowers, Swift, all facing easy defenses. Bye week troubles, I have Joe Mixon. He has Jaden Daniels and Nico. I had Nico last year. He's a great fella. Would have loved to play him, but so sad to see him on a bye. Matchup based on teammates in primetime. We got Gibbs v. Montgomery tonight. Game's probably already started. Jamar and T Monday night. Jamar and T Higgins Monday night. I feel like this matchup will really test. Like this will show if I belong in the top dogs. And I know right now I'm ahead of Kyle in the standings, but his team is just a freight train right now, and I got to stop it. And I think I'm one of the hotter teams as well. Book sees it. It's a pick 'em.
The book is calling that a pick 'em. Wow. Yep. Just checking the Twitter. I'm surprised by all you've said that the book is calling that a pick 'em.
Yeah. That's what they told. That's what they told me. Me personally, and I don't ever want to talk bad about my team. I'll take myself, but I'm trying to put myself in a third party position. Kyle just has so many good matchups. And I think if I had Joe Mixon, it would probably be a different story because I'm not 100% sure if I'll play Isaac Guerendo or what I'm going to do with my flex spot. Mm-hmm. But that question mark, I think, tells a lot. Now, again, if I had Joe Mixon, then I think I would feel more confident in myself. But, yeah, he's without Jane Daniels and Nico. What do you think, Ted?
I think for sure. I mean, just looking, especially at your wide receivers compared to Kyle, like Jamar Chase versus T. Higgins, got to be Jamar Chase, especially counteracting Joe Burrow. Jackson Smith and Jigba has been having a heck of a season.
Look at T. Higgins, what he's averaged.
Yeah, I might be speaking a little bit
T. Higgins is insane.
Yeah, he was hurt for a bit. He had 25, had a bye, had 15. But yeah, I had him last year and he was terrible last year.
Ted, I'm frozen.
Oh. But yeah, I'm just thinking based on wide receivers, I'd take RJ. Oh, we're getting word from Rare Oyster 04 that he's frozen. Can you hear me? No, we can't hear you. Oh, no, we can't hear. Oh, but on the recap, we've got
Ted.
K. Whitlock saying Kyle money line. Oh, yep, I see RJ.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, no.
Just a bit peel behind the curtain. I have to click on the messages to put them up on the screen, just so everyone knows we're having some technical difficulties. If anyone wants to pop in, I can keep going. Oh, he might be back.
Oh! Whenever I change screens, it always glitches.
So we're back. It seems like the people voting, there was only one vote, but it said Kyle Moneyline.
Riley Reid option Moneyline. Yeah, I respect that. There's no bias there whatsoever.
And it seems like the Twitch chats just keep going. We're up to 500 viewers. Wow. But if anyone else wants to chime in who they think is going to win.
Yeah, right now it's tied. I said myself and Kyle said himself. So could we maybe get like one other person to
We got ZFFFL FF Pod fans saying anyone else in chat pretty drunk because I am. That is not a prediction, but that is good to know.
Do you know who that is?
It might be Otis Perkins. It's our ZFFFL FF Pod fan. Who else would it be besides ODP?
That's true. ODP. I'm drunk. Actually, not really.
It seems like no one's going to chime in, so I'll chime in, break the tie.
We just need one more person to comment. Let's see who it's going to be. Let's see. Comment what? Who do you have? Kevin OB155. We are on matchup Riley Reid option versus Ass ETN season. The line is a pick'em. We right now have 2 votes. Kyle has voted for Riley Reid option. I have voted for Ass ETN season. So we'd love to know who you have.
Wow. Kyle Moneyline, Kyle Championship future as well. That's like what you were saying, or Kyle is the undisputed favorite going into the playoffs. So let's get moving on to the next matchup.
You were caught in it.
Moving on, we've got this is the sponsored by. This one's a little confusing. It's sponsored by the show Friends on Nick at Night. This is the will they won't they matchup, because will they won't they care. This is Kevin versus Monty. Neither team. Kevin, he could win and beat Kyle by 9 points and get that 3 seed, but really he might ask himself, does it even matter? I'm sure he looks himself in the mirror every morning and says, does it even matter?
Mm-hmm.
But, I think Kev's looking at this team. He really needs to respect Josh Allen. I can't believe after they had that heart-to-heart in his office after the whole Tyler drama.
I'll see you in my office.
But like you were saying, he needs Pacheco to really cement himself as the back, especially since I guess Monty doesn't have Kareem Hunt anymore. RJ just left. But then I think he needs Drake London, Kittle to get back on track. And then for Monty, this is another thing where how much I know he takes a lot of pride in his lineup and in his team, but just when you're at the bottom playing for no reason, the only thing getting you going would be to make Kevin's day worse, which I think is motivation enough for most of us here. But I think he really needs that senior leadership. He needs A.J. Brown to gather Neighbors, Maserati, Marvin, Breece Hall. I heard he wasn't at practice today. I think he needs to they need to have a heart-to-heart, get that leadership and get him in there. But RJ, what do you think about this one before we throw it to the Twitch chat to
So if Kevin wins, okay, no, he'll be 4th seed, right? He'll be 4th seed for sure. Because, well, actually, no.
He needs to be.
If he wins and Kyle loses, then he's 4th seed for sure. He could be 5-4 or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He could be so he's still fighting for a little bit of something. I didn't want to check. I didn't want to change tabs and look myself. I was trying to think because I didn't want it to glitch. So Kevin's still fighting for something. And I've mentioned this before. I really don't want to be on the side of the bracket that Kyle's on. And I'd really prefer if I could not be on the side that Kevin's on as well. Like I said, my preferred, and I've said it before, matchups would be Chase to beat Jack, face him round 1, and then face you round 2. That would be perfect. But back to the matchup. We should know what happens before Monday comes around in this matchup. Get started with Amon-Ra tonight, right now. Has anything happened in the game? I mean, we could even talk live if there's something that's going to happen. I'll pull it up. Oh my God, Lions touchdown. Who scored? David Montgomery touchdown.
Huge.
Jordan Love sacked for -7 yards.
Yeah, with Aiden Hutchinson.
Do we want to get kicked off Twitch?
Is that if you post it live? All right, sorry. Back to the matchup. I know we have a lot of viewers right now that are you able to pull it up?
I was trying to see.
That'd be hilarious. Jordan Love has scrambled right, tackled to Green Bay 31 for 8 yards. I will say, I don't like Christian McCaffrey getting hurt, but with him being out, I mean, CMC hasn't done anything. He hasn't even scored. So I've had David Montgomery on my bench. So it does feel nice to actually be able to play him again. All right, I'll continue with my analysis of this matchup. Amon-Ra tonight. Let's see if he has any stats. Amon-Ra, 2 catches, 10 yards, quick 2 points. Bink's got pride to play for now. Last place, last game. This is the sad thing. This is his last. He only has 2 more fantasy weekends for the rest of the year. I feel like we just drafted. He has this weekend and then the last place game. Sad we're already here. No bye week trouble for either team. Book likes Kev's matchups a lot, especially with Pollard, London, Saquon. I mean, just look at the teams. Sorry to the bank, but Kev's team is just outmatched you. Kev -9.5.
Wow.
And wait a sec. We actually have money coming in on him as we speak. Kevin is -12.5.
Wow. Kevin -12.5.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think. If there will be Bink justice or if Kevin will continue to dominate those with less wins than him, really taking over who they are.
Were you able to pull the game up? Oh, there.
I have to quit and restart. How's this?
That works.
So moving on to our next matchup. This one, okay, so no one's commenting, so I'm just going to say I think Monty will surprise us. I think he'll take this one. Actually, let's make it official. Let me comment in the Twitch chat.
It says we have one viewer right now.
Did we get taken down?
Monty will win with he'll only score 20 points.
Oh, wait.
With 20 points. Wow. They expect Kevin to fold. Oh, minus 20. By 20. Wow.
Yeah.
20. Wow.
So
Underwater
Monty's projecting a big Monty win. If anyone else would like to know, just let us know before we get taken down. Jordan Love driving down the field. But now moving on to our next matchup. Moving on to our next matchup. This is the huge matchup of the decade, I would say. This is sponsored by Viagra, the Fucker Walk matchup of the century. Chase versus Jack. Winner gets the playoff. Losers goes to that dreaded realm of a dangerous t-shirt. It is all on the line for both teams. Chase is rolling with Herbert at quarterback, but also Jack is rolling with Kyler. Can Kyler get it done? We'll see. I bet they both wish they had Baker Mayfield. That's for sure. Jack, he needs a huge week from Bijan, needs Mike Evans' cup to go nuclear. And then Chase, he needs a big running back week. Kyron Williams, Aaron Jones, Bucky Irving need to get it done. But RJ, what do you have on this one? I see
this is the most meaningful regular season game of all time in the ZFFFL.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of a bigger regular season game ever. I could not imagine how nervous both of these guys are in this matchup. They have to be shaking in their boots, knowing they're one step away from playoffs, and the win could give them so much momentum. Possible championships. We're talking about a first for Jack, maybe, or a fourth for Chase. Or this is their second to last fantasy football weekend of the year until the last place game. Crazy. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
You could not make this up.
No, you can't. I mean, storybook writers can't write stuff this good. Chase has fantastic matchups for everyone except Aaron Jones. Jack has good matchup for Tyrone Tracy right now, but really tough ones for Kupp, Evans, Bijan. JT on a bye for Jack is huge. And then Chase has tight end one, Mark Andrews. It will all come down to CeeDee Lamb on Monday night. CeeDee Lamb, we're going to be sitting there Monday night. Chase is going to be down 9-ish points. Oh my gosh, it's going to be storybook. Jack, this is the book. Jack minus 5.5 with a max bet of $25 with bet code ZFFFL FF A6 rules. Sorry, it was changed. It was originally ZFFFL FF A6, but now it's A6 rules. $25 max bet. Jack minus 5.5. What do you think, Ted? Off the dome.
I would say
there are two ZFFFL FF Pod fans. Pod fan.
I think we've got a bit of a. Oh, did David Montgomery score again? I don't know. It's just a recap.
You got me excited.
No, honestly, I think Jack because Jack has put together better like the past 3 weeks. I think they've all won and lost the same. Chase and Jack, but Jack has put in stronger performances.
But the matchups this week, Chase, what does, if there was one person in this league that knew something we didn't, who would it be? It would be Chase Fisher.
And if there's one person in this league who didn't know something that we all knew, it would be Jack.
And I almost feel like Chase prepared to be in this position with the great matchups his starters have this week. No one really realized that he's just slowly picking up guys that have great week 17 games. And Jack doesn't have good week 7. Keep the pod going, otherwise I'm drinking alone. And some people label that as a problem. Wow, that is sad for ZFFFL FF Pod fan. But after this, we'll be live streaming Fortnite. Watch that. But yes, what do you think, Jack? You like Jack minus 5.5?
I like Jack.
Oh,
wow,
God, what? I mean, I'm drinking too, so I'm with you. You're not drinking alone when you have a podcast playing.
So Jack,
I think Jack has the better team. Okay.
But you think matchup wise?
I think Chase wins this week, and it's going to be some.
I'm hoping it's real close.
Oh yeah, I want. What do you think the difference has to be going into Monday night? The lead that Jack has to have that's too big, like that he can feel safe, and then what is it that's too low? There's no way he can come back.
I think so you're basically saying what CD Lamb's ceiling and floor is.
Yes.
I think 4 points is his floor.
Yeah.
So if Jack is up by 4.
Could you imagine Jack being up by 4.5 and winning? I'd be sick to my stomach. Does Chase, who did the Cowboys play? Does Chase even think about making a move?
That's the wrong matchup. Oh no, that's the right matchup. They play Cincinnati, who has been terrible on defense.
So does Chase maybe think about Andre Yoshivas in that spot instead of CD Lamb?
He's got Devontae on his bench. But also that's about the same situation.
Yeah. Man. I'd be sick to my stomach if I was down 5 with CD Lamb and did not win. What do you think, Chase, the max you come back from? I'm thinking realistically 14 to 15.
I was thinking, something like Jack would feel comfortable up by 20.
Yeah.
Like 15 is more realistic.
20, I'd feel good. 15, I'd still feel good. I think that's he could score more, or like he could score that, but that's far-fetched, in my opinion.
I agree. Now we need to wrap this up so we can play some Fortnite. And also I gotta pee real bad. But unless you have anything else, RJ.
Nope.
So as always, thank you for listening to Designs of Football Fantasy Football Podcast. Make sure to get those bets in before the Thursday night game. Oh, too late. Be sure to follow us on all social media at ZFFFL FF Pod on all major platforms. Thanks for watching, listening, and as always, fuck you, Cooper.